Hi, everyone. I am Olivia Norman with AmpU, and today I have the opportunity to sit down with one of our partners, very talented choreographer by the name of Herman Charles. Herman has worked with some big names like Destiny's Child, Normani, and he works with a lot of our artists at AmpU. So we just wanted to take some time today to share what our relationship with Herman is and explain a little bit more about what he does and what the life of a choreographer is like. So Herman, thank you so much for joining me today. If you want to start off and just tell us a little bit more about your background and how you became a choreographer.
Yes, I was just a local performer, performing everywhere. Like we were pretty much like me and my crew. We were performing everywhere, like everywhere we could perform, and just start growing and growing and growing. And you know, it like kind of moved just from Houston to like other cities to other states. And a guy approached me, like we had just performed because we were, like I said, we were performing everywhere. A guy approached me. He was like, "Well, whatever you did up there, can you teach my group?" And I was just like, "Yeah." So, and then like literally like the next couple of weeks, I was in front of Matthew Knowles, like teaching go. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how to teach really because I was just working with my guys. You know, I didn't know what an 8 count was or anything like that. So I had to learn that stuff later. So I came into the business like working with artists, and then I later on became like a dance instructor.
Oh, very cool. So did you take like dance classes yourself when you were growing up, or you kind of just taught yourself?
Nah, I could always dance. Like from a kid, I could always dance. And they tried to, but it was like I was more interested in like playing basketball.
Yeah. So how many people were in your group, and were you guys like a hip hop group, or what kind of dance
Yeah,
did y'all do?
it was just really just street dancing. We did a lot of like, you know what we do? We all love Michael Jackson. Like we would just do Michael Jackson stuff, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like I had been doing it since I was a kid, but you know, like you get older, and like we're all like hip hop. You know, like kids of hip hop. So we just kind of started incorporating that dance style into what we were doing. So
Yeah. And so you have a studio now in Houston. How did you sort of like open the studio up and transition from just teaching artists to now actually like doing classes on a
I
regular
had a,
basis?
I had a studio. I co-owned the studio with one of my guys, and then I just got so busy. I had to transition out of that. I still teach dance, like at a few studios here in Houston, but like I'm working with so many artists. I had to like slow down with the ownership of the dance studio.
Gotcha, gotcha. So now you're working with so many artists. So what does your day to day sort of look like? And are there any, projects that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, I mean the project I'm working on now is like it's a female rapper, that girl Lele. She's like a 14-year-old rapper. She's like going crazy, and like right before pandemic hit, we were like on the road and traveling and touring and shooting videos and everything. So we're about to get back to that.
Very cool. And so do you help her before, the pandemic? Were you had a hand in music videos as well as like the live performance dancing part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Both. We were literally traveling like with the whole crew, like like a real tour. It was crazy because she was like 11 or 12 at the time. We got this 12-year-old, and we're just traveling with dancers and moms and you know engineer guys and us. So yeah, it was like the live performance and the video, the video shoots.
Very cool. So do you prefer sort of choreographing one over the other? Do you like live performances better or music videos or just the same?
I like live performance. It's all work to me, but I like live performance better because like I'm into the music part of it too, and like like working with bands and musicians and all that stuff, and like just creating like different versions of the what I'm saying, to create that live experience. So it's just not the
Yeah.
regular song that they hear on on this on the CD or the iTunes, Apple
Yeah,
Music.
it sort of creates like a whole environment, a whole feeling around the song. Very cool. So kind of building off of that, what have been some of your favorite projects that you've been on, or artists that you've worked with, or tours that you've choreographed?
Man, all of them really, because like it's such a big business now. Like when I started, especially here in Houston, we didn't have those kind of platforms. You're like dance is everywhere now. You have the masked dancer, the unmasked dancer. So you think you could dance. So you thought you could dance. You think you could dance today? Maybe y'all could. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's everywhere now. So those weren't available then. So just like even to get the opportunity to like work with a major artist or to be in a video, just here local, you know what I'm saying? Just here in town, not having to go to California or go to New York. You know, just start. I was able to create those opportunities here and have people, you know, working and not having to move and leave their families and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool that just, from right in Houston, that isn't, particularly known for being
Yeah,
like a huge music.
literally didn't exist then, and we were having to create our own opportunities.
Yeah. So that also perfectly transitions into my next question. So since you've started your career to now, have you seen a major shift in the way that artists are incorporating dance into their live performances or into their music videos that, is maybe more a recent sort of trend that we're seeing?
Yeah, just because the art form has grown, so you'll have, you know, like country artists that use incorporate dancing, you know, like, or even in videos, like people they'll incorporate all kinds of movement, not just dance. It's like, you know, it's not just hip hop or it's not just ballet. It's like contemporary and kind of these lyrical movements that they use in their videos now, and it's pretty amazing to see.
Yeah. So have you had the chance to work with artists, that may be country or other genres, or do you typically work with, R&B or hip hop rappers?
I work with everything. With even with Amp, Amp had me working with country artists, and you know, I've worked with rap artists. I worked with singers. You know, everything really, literally everything, from adults to kids, everything.
Yeah. Is it hard to work with different genres, or is it, pretty much when you get down to it, sort of like the same
Uh,
process?
Once you understand the music and what the artist wants to do, then it's easy for me.
Yeah. So when you are choreographing a routine for an artist, sort of what does that process look like? How much is the artist involved in it? For a tour, how many songs are you choreographing? I just love to hear more about, sort of the back end of what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just the I mean, for younger artists, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on what they're doing. Like, if you have an artist that's established, they're like singing their hit records and introducing new records, the song they have out at the time. And for, you know, younger artists, they may have to do covers and to get an audience familiar with them. So it's two different things. I mean, like, you know, at first people they just wanted your style. Like, we see what you do. Can you get us to do that? And I was like, oh, okay. But then I work with somebody like Solange, and Solange, like, they was like, Solange wants to work with you. Oh yeah, Solange says she wants to work with you. Da da da. And it comes in, and then we start working, and then she created all the choreography. And I was like, okay, right.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And so you mentioned that you have worked with Solange, and I know you've worked with, Destiny's Child, Normani. So what has it sort of been like um, working alongside these women, and kind of seeing, their rise to fame and them starting to taste success, and just how have you seen them evolved, and what experience has it been like for you?
Yeah, a lot of people always say Destiny's Child and Beyonce because I worked for Music World for so long, but I only work with someone. Like, it's been a myth. They've even had, you know, they say, oh, they work with this and that. And I was like, no, I never worked with them. I worked at the management company. So I guess they always just try to include that. Like, we were supposed to, like, I remember early on, like, we auditioned and they loved us and we were supposed to go on tour, but then, you know, whatever happened. But yeah, Solange is who I worked with out of that camp.
Oh, well, thank you for clarifying. So just sort of, I'd love to hear more about what it was like working with her. And, you know, you said that she came in with some of her own choreography and just what's it like working with a large name like that?
She, you know, first time I really thought I was working with an artist where she was like, you know, she was hands-on with pretty much everything. And she was like creating choreography and, oh, I want to put this right here. And I was like, yeah. And ever since then, it made me a better choreographer. I incorporate what the artist wants to do, even all the way down to like when I'm working with just dancers in general. If I'm just teaching a dance routine or something, I get their input and see exactly what they want to do. And you know what I'm saying? It's made me a better choreographer.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, as you know, AmpU works with developing artists, some artists that are just, you know, at the beginning of their career. And you've said that you worked with, you know, new artists as well. So do you have any advice for what point in an artist's career they should be looking at incorporating a choreographer, you know, maybe into their music videos or things like that?
It's really what they want to. It's really what they want to do with dance. I mean, dance. It's an art form. So just like music is art. So it's like you're just combining both. You can combine it right at the beginning. Like it's all what you want to incorporate into your art. So if they want to dance, you know, if they can dance, or if they want to incorporate that into their stage show or videos or whatever, it just you have to really practice. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go out there and just want to dance and can't really get it.
Yeah. And so I know, you know, some people have different, you know, visions for who they are as an artist or what kind of music they're going to create. But in your opinion, do you think that it's really enhances someone's experience when they have, you know, dancers on a stage or dancers in a music video? Like, why are you passionate
Yeah.
about working with
I
artists?
mean,
And
yeah, you know, for me, yeah, because I'm the dance guy. I like to see dance, but you know, you can see a performer just, you know, perform like their best performance without any dance, and it's just as amazing as if you have 1,000 dancers behind you. You know, it's the same thing. It's really just putting your all into a performance, really. And me as a choreographer, I've taught that to artists as well, who may not, you know, dance, you know, that great. And I was like, yo, as long as you're giving your all, you know what I'm saying? Like you can wow that audience just as much as if, like I said, if you have 1,000 dancers behind you. It doesn't mean that, you know, because if you can have those 1,000 dancers and if you don't sound, you don't sing the right notes or don't sing the right lyrics, it's gonna be the same weird outcome.
that's very true, very true. So, what's next for you that you're excited about in your career in 2021? Like, what do you have coming down the pipeline?
I'm working with a few artists. Like I said, you know, we're gearing back up for That Girl Lele. That's my biggest project. She's getting ready to release a new album or a new project, and we've done like 4 or 5 videos already, and we're just waiting to get back out on the road.
Yeah. What was her name? Sorry, I missed that.
That Girl Lele.
Oh, cool.
You should look her up.
Yeah, I will, and I'll be sure to, you know, link her in the description of our YouTube video. Um, that's super cool. Do you guys have any sort of, I know no one knows when things are going to come back to normal, but are you guys preparing for, you know, end of the year to get back on the road, or do you have any sort of, you know, plan for when things are going to start up again?
Look, when it opens back up, we're right back on the road. Even like my best friend, he's a comedian, and like we're putting his show together, so and we're gearing up for that. So as soon as it opens back up, we're back on the road.
Yeah, ready to go as soon as possible.
Right.
For her, how many dancers does she travel with?
Two,
Okay.
sometimes four, sometimes four. They have a whole little. She has a whole little crew. But yeah, most of the time it's two, but four.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, so that's all the questions I had.
Because that's like for each kid as a parent. So you know what I'm saying? It gets crazy.
It adds up, yeah. Um, but that's all the questions that I had for you. I did want to ask, you have had such success in making a name for yourself in Houston, where you sort of had to be the first one in the scene and everything like that. So do you just have any advice for artists who are trying to make a name for themselves, or just anyone in general who might be facing some difficulties just when it comes to, what you did to get to the success level that you're at today?
Honestly, just keep working. Just keep working and doing the best that you can do because you never know who's watching. Like I said, we were performing everywhere. We were performing on every stage we could jump on. We performed on grass before. We performed on dirt before. Little small stages, real big stages, Georgia or Brown stages, arena theater. We was performing everywhere. We were performing everywhere. And like you never know, like that's a lot of rehearsal and a lot of this and a lot of that and working on the music and putting this together and dancing this guy and make sure this girl is right to the what I'm saying, and you never know who's watching. And then that one person comes up and is like, well, can you teach us? And, they have a record deal on the table and they get the record deal and it just kind of snowballs from there. So it's like continue to work, as hard as you can. You never know. Even when things look bleak, continue to work and continue
Yeah,
to grow you know what I'm saying? Like I started there and I used to be in the studio all day and all night and go from rehearsal to listening, like in the recording studio with whoever I was working with to me working with the actual engineer, learning how to engineer, learning how to work Pro Tools, then taking that and learning how to like do the music myself, and then took that and start editing, music, then start editing videos. So I'm just like this encyclopedia of that kind of stuff now.
yeah, that makes total sense. Keep learning, and you never know when your big break is going to come. So you just
Literally,
gotta,
I edited like maybe like 4 music videos last year.
yeah.
Sat down and learned the programs and figured it out, and now I can edit videos now.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much again for sitting down with us. AmpU is just very grateful for your partnership, and wanted to take this opportunity to show you how appreciative we are of everything that you do with us, and how strong of a partner you are, and just show all of our followers what you do to give them a little bit more insight of what our relationship looks like with you. So that's all I had for you today. Be sure to put any of your contact information in the description of our YouTube video. And, if anyone reaches out, to send them your way. But unless you have anything else you'd like to add, that's all I got for today.
I'm good. If you have any other questions, we can do it again. I'll just put on the same closing.
Sounds great. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you again.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Bye.